So, here we are, myself and a certain ginger bearded legend, and it's going to be quite frank, quite open and honest, and we're going to interview Scott instead of him doing and having all the fun on Tuesday. So, do you reckon that light's alright? That's not very good. I can brighten it up in the edit. Anyway, so Scott, congratulations on your recent marriage.
Oh, the ball and chain.
The ball and chain. Let me just have a little faff with. That's better. Cool. So those things. Home. Tara. Kids.
Tara's still the same. Still the enemy. Still whinges about shows. Still whinges about buying new spiders. That is why she is the enemy.
Agreed. His phone goes off constantly as well. Obviously, with him being such a superstar. So. Let's start with you. Nobody gets to talk to you. One thing I've got to do is I've got to check this. Yeah.
The glue. It's Gorilla Glue.
It is officially real. So you're very open and frank when you talk about your past, your history, how you got to where you are now. Where did the spider hobby come from and how did it start?
Okay, so obviously went from being homeless, went to a hostel, went to a flat. With the flat I was like, speaking to my mum was saying, look, don't really want to talk to you as much as I do because of the drug situation and all the rest of it. So I was like, okay, time to do something about it. So I spent 2 weeks, I stopped prescription drugs that the doctor was giving me, I stopped the prescription drugs that I was buying and all the other drugs that I was taking at the time. I stopped it all and I rattled my ass off in my flat for 2 weeks. Didn't go out. When I did start going out, I started having a lot of panic attacks and stuff like that. And my best mate was like, right, we're gonna do something. So he bought like a little van and we did man with the van for a bit, which took my mind off, all the rest of it. He could see that I was rattling and all the rest of it. I was dead skinny as well, so he was buying me food, kebabs, and I was leaving half the time because I just didn't have the stomach room. And then one day this lad we knew got chucked out of home and he got an 8 Shackleades and he got an LP. And he basically said, I've got nowhere for these, Scott, would you mind looking after them? And in the end he just said, you can keep them. But the LP was in an Exoterra like this, with about this much substrate. And I was looking and I thinking, it can't be right. So I started going on the internet, started checking out some of the Facebook groups, started talking to Steve Thornton and all the rest of them. And I was like, right, so it needs like this much substrate, a bit more floor space. So I did that. And then I met Tara, the enemy, and obviously, it was like, that period of you're kind of living with your missus, but you're not living with the missus. It was like that. So she was like, bring your spiders down here. So I did. And then she was like, you're really into these, aren't you? I said, yeah. And then I found Creatures from the North and their mystery boxes. She was finding stuff on Pre-Loved as well, all the rest of it. And the addiction for the drugs got just swapped over to the healthier one for the tarantulas. And then with the tarantulas, got quite a few. We had the marine fish tank, which in the end we had to get rid of so we could get more tarantulas. But I find more of a solace with the spiders than what I've done with anything else. I can't do a normal life. I can't go to work. I can't have a family without having something else going on. And for me, it's the tarantulas. And that probably sounds weird to a lot of people, but I think differently to a lot of people. So with my mental health, the tarantulas just go, Scott, come on, just chill.
Yeah.
And they take me off, and I'm chilled out and doing my own little thing and all the rest of it. Tara, she kind of understands it now. It didn't take her very long to kind of get the gist of, my brain and all the rest of it. Because I said to her, I'm going to struggle with this relationship. I'm going to struggle with, the fact that, we've got a stepdaughter there and all the rest of it. But the tarantulas, which sounds really selfish and sounds really nasty, and it is, but that's just the way my mind works. So when I've got the severe depression, she knows because I just go in the spider room and I'll go in the I'll go sit with the spiders for a long time, and Tyra will just leave me alone because I don't need mothering, I don't need any sympathy or anything like that. I just need to be left to my own devices, and that's what she does. She just leaves me to go off on one. So that's where it all started, and now it's just like. Instead of being that addiction for the drugs, it's just like spun that around and just focused on the tarantulas and the other animals that we've got now. And like just looking at them back when I was getting into them, with spiders being kept on substrate like this and all the rest of it, and thinking, that ain't right, you know, that really ain't right. So watching like Tom Moran and other people going, oh right, that's how you do it. Right, let's get a couple of books out, let's read this, read that. And then I found friends, and obviously within the spider community that are all, you know, really, really helpful. And it went from there.
Because you now pass that knowledge on to others through your channel.
Yeah, you have to.
And I think for me, and like we've spoken before and whatever else, but for me, like keeping and then somebody saying, oh, this looks on YouTube, and then finding you, it holds up. This opens up this whole new world, and then the Scotts Army appears, and it's like a whole new family that you've created. Let's be honest. You have got this following, and for me, it's like every Tuesday is.
It was also built up by, you know, other YouTube creators that are around me as well. Do you know what I mean? So not only you got your own subs, you've got those guys bringing them as well, and they're all fundamentally Scotts Inverts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not. It's everybody else's. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think you've got. I mean, like there's the loyal guys that I mean, people will know. If you're not subscribed to Scott and you're subscribed to me, then you seriously we're on the wrong channel. But yeah. You've got your loyal guys, you've got like Chris, Lewis, who are mega supportive to you outside of the channel as well as in it, and I think that for me, you've created this, and like you said earlier to me, that what your mum said.
Oh yeah.
After the wedding.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you mind?
No, she, in a nutshell, she basically, I said, Mum, you know, I was homeless. Was on drugs and all the rest of it, and she was like, well yeah, I says, now I'm married, and I says, what do we do now? And she was like, nothing, that's it, you've done it. And that was a bit of an eye waterer, let's say. But going back to the whole Scotts Inverts army, what you see on the channel is only like half of it. I mean, like, I have a lot of conversations with Leah from Unusual Pets, Mark Spider Guy, Ellie, obviously, love Ellie to bits, Christine, Spider Mum as well. So you don't see those conversations. Derek as well from Reptile Innovations. Literally, there's a massive list, and those are the guys that you chat to almost on a daily basis. When you feel like absolute crap, it's just like, and then they'll pick you up instantly. So you don't really see that side of the channel, if you like, or that side of me, because there's a lot of friendships been made and saying, cast in iron, all come from YouTube and spiders, and
I think it's humbling. Like for me, it's humbling the way that you sort of always respect, and I think that's probably coming from your past. You always will look at the best in everything, and I think it shines through. It shines through on your channel, and I just think that for me, it's like we'd arranged to come and do this. Was it Bristol? Or I can't remember, BTS, or I don't know when it was, but I was coming up here for work. Said to Scott, we'll meet up, we'll go for a coffee or whatever. And
no, the words were, we'll go for a coffee. And then about 2 hours ago, he says, oh, we'll do an interview.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is he's a lot, but he's used to doing this on a Tuesday, so it's fine. But I mean, for me, you with the channel, you've got your supporters, you've got your patrons, you've got your channel members, you've got people who support you, and they support you because of what you bring to them. So how does that make you feel as a creator?
I don't think that I deserve it. That's the thing. So I don't really think about it too much. So what it is like it's like I owe them already. So it's like if I'm feeling a bit iffy, or I know what I'm doing for a Thursday, it's that driving force to keep you going. And when you're on a video smiling, it's the guys that are doing stuff like that supporting you. And that's why you're smiling. That's why your enthusiasm is buzzing through, because you know you've got support. That like literally financial support is crazy. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I still think I'm just extra addict. That's it. Do you know what I mean? But then people are actually literally giving you money to continue the journey that you're on now. And this community, I think, is very forgiving of somebody's past, even if they know it. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm very open about what I've done, and people are very much like, well done, you know, you're doing really well, and all the rest of it. So you kind of owe people in a way. That's a lot I feel.
Actually, if you're honest, they don't care. They don't care about you. You know, we've all got a past. We've all done something, and they accept you because you are
what you are today. Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, you've got to, you know, you've done a massive U-turn, and you are where you are today because you've had that positive mental attitude to go forwards.
But I also tell people about it so much as well. So next time, you know, they're walking down the street, because in Coventry you see it all through the town. You'll see, you know, the drug addicts begging, you'll see the homeless begging, and all the rest of it. So not necessarily by giving them money or giving them a dirty look, just a smile, just an acceptance of that's what goes on in society. They are normal people. You know what I mean?
I was just saying, I mean, for me,
that was one of the things that I really wanted to try and
get
out there as
well. With my job, and I will never ignore anybody who's homeless because I understand the process. And for me, it's like you ignoring them is almost, you're not better than them. They've just had a bad turn, or they've been dealt the wrong deck at that time. You don't know what their past is, you don't know what their history is, you don't know why they're even sat there.
So
just acknowledging them and saying, all right mate, sorry I got no change, but you all right? That's it. And yeah, I'm fine, thank you very much, have a good day, and whatever they do, but you've acknowledged them.
I think in my history there's been two big areas where I've had the drug problem. The first time, did it all, sorted it all out, not a problem. We're nowhere near as bad as the second time. But from the back of that, I worked in drug rehab for a long time. After that I relapsed and all the rest of it, and you know, but I think the experience that I've got from working in the drug rehab as well as being in active addiction is, you know, it's not, drugs don't go looking for the most poorest people and go, you're going to be an addict. And when we talk about drugs, it's also alcohol as well. They go for anybody, and it is absolutely anybody. You know, I've used with people that have been super rich. I can't say her name or anything, but I used to knock around with a girl whose parents were millionaires, literally millionaires, and she was very, very poshly spoken, but she still, you know, come out the same words as we did, spoke the same as us, just in a very posh way, but she was still the same. It affects anybody and everybody. It is crazy, and as far as homeless is concerned, anybody is one bad decision away from being homeless, and sometimes that bad decision isn't even their decision to make, it's somebody else's.
I think you're right by saying it's one bad decision away, and you know, people are fortunate that don't even come close to that, and there are some people who are less fortunate who literally lose everything overnight and they've got nowhere to go, got nothing, and they end up on the streets. But you know, there's also people who have got there through this windy, windy road in order the next day they're in a sleeping bag on a cardboard box, or whichever way they live in, and you just think to yourself at that point, you know, for me, I'm no better than anybody. I'll never look down on somebody and like that. But there's so many in society that do, and I'm just thinking, you know, don't ever preach to somebody, because it's like, you know, don't throw stones in a glass house. And
I think if somebody's going to look down at somebody else like that, then that's somebody that you don't really want to be associated with too much, unless you can wake them up and show them, look, you know, you might never have looked at this situation from this viewpoint, but if you did, then maybe you'd understand it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Some people just don't want to know. You know, they just want to pretend they're not even there.
Yeah.
The flip side to all this, though, is I know 2 homeless guys who have been homeless for years. They don't want a flat. They don't want a hostel. They don't want a home. They're happy living on the streets, getting by as they do every single day. They have no intentions of going to the council and even starting the step, just because they're so happy, literally happy being homeless. And which, for somebody with a roof over their head, it's like, what? You know? But it's choice. That is just down to choice.
We're all different, aren't we?
Yeah. You know, whether you put that down to maybe, you know, they've got a mental health issue going on, this, that, and other, but then, you know, you start labelling people inappropriately then, don't you? I think the fact of these 2 guys is they just enjoyed the freedom.
You don't have to tell anybody, no bills.
No, nothing, just
you can look at it. Yeah, and it is. Right then, back to the spiders. I will cut this, but it's not going to be just boom. Is there anything you want me to ask in order to, like, I'll tell you what then. Right. So what's coming up then? Tell me about Scotts Inverts and what's the future? Because we're at 5.2 now.
Yeah.
5.2 thousand subscribers, and you put something about how many hits today?
700,000 views.
700,000 views.
Yeah, but I don't like to bang on about it too much, because I always feel like if somebody's out there with a camera wanting to do YouTube and you go, oh yeah, I've got 5,000 subscribers, they might feel a bit like, it's just numbers. It's just numbers. That's
your point. So you've got 5 points. Your point, whatever, is more than my subscribers.
Yeah, 230.
But I don't, like we were chatting earlier, I don't do it for, like, I've got a really good, and for me it's about regular people, always comment, and people who I've met through your, you know, through your chats and whatever else, who have come over, but they always comment, they always say hello, they always put a thumbs up, and that for me is fine, because I could have 1,000 subscribers of people I don't interact with.
I've always said, like, you know, if the channel ever went kaboom, I'd have to do a private live for the original ones that are always there on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't see it going boom.
I mean, we were discussing, because when I came to you, you were just short of, I think you were just 2.8, I think, and then I came. I probably started watching you, I'd say, probably in February this year. Was it February this year or February last year? No, this year. So February this year, and you've got to 5, so you are definitely rising. And I think for me, your channel is very addictive, and because it's so varied, you can literally have a flick through your channel and find something.
Well, it's got to be varied, because that's how my mind works.
Yeah.
You know, you can throw everything into tarantulas, but if you do that, you're going to find them boring at some point. You know, so that's why I like to flip over to other things as well, just to keep it all fresh.
Because your shorts you do, like, of your reptiles and everything, don't you?
Yeah, everything.
So where does your love lie? Is it the spider side? Is it?
Oh yeah, tarantulas definitely. Yeah.
And what about true spiders? Where are you with them?
It was me and there's a lad called Ben Butler and Tony Webb a couple of years ago that really started going, oh, these true spiders are something else. And there are a couple of the David Dance as well, and the inverted barium. And since those days, it's gone bigger and bigger and bigger. When you look at true spiders, there's more true spiders in the world than tarantulas. They're cheaper than tarantulas. There's so much coloration and variation in them. I mean, you think a spider, you think a tarantula moves fast. Just wait to get hold of a true spider. I always get criticised because anything that's not a tarantula I call a true spider, because you've got the megalomorphs and all sorts. But for me, you've got your tarantulas and then you've got your true spiders. and it's easy to understand. I get lost in terminology when they say, "Oh no, Scott, that's not a true spider. It's a megalomorph, or it's this, or it's that." And I'm like, I don't. You just gone straight over.
They all come under the arachnid umbrella, don't they?
Yeah, let's just go for tarantula, true spider, because I understand that. You understand that. The only issue that I've got with true spiders is they don't last.
Lifespan. Yeah.
Absolutely. As an adult, you're lucky if you get another year out of them, and a lot of them it's like 2 to 3 years and they're done. But again, if you get a baby one, the chances of you getting that to adult are pretty slim. So we tend to go for juvees, subadults, and adults. So we don't have them for that long.
No.
But they're fascinating, absolutely fascinating. But yeah, I do love the true spiders.
So the big question: you've got to pick one. You can only take one of your inverts. Well, let's put it down to your arachnids. You can only pick one. What is it going to be and why? Okay,
so before today, the answer to that question would have been, I can't pick one. But if I had to, it would be the Guti Sapphire, which is
knew you were going to say
which is a P Metallica. Now, this is not because it's my favourite, but because it sits inside the Stranger Things enclosure. So that means I get to keep that Stranger Things enclosure. That is the only reason.
Let's talk about that.
What, dude?
Let's talk. I knew you were going to say if you were coming on. I knew it.
So 2 years ago, I made a few errors, lost some friends. Steve was one of them, right? For my own fault, it was all my doing. But me and Steve eventually started chatting again, and we've become really, really close, and we have. And when he does his builds, I'm always like, oh God, I just chuck a bit of soil in there and a few plants, you just go to another level. And I've always thought about asking him if he build one for me, and thinking, it's going to cost so much. Do you know what I mean? It's literally going to cost so much. When it comes down to Stranger Things, me as a family, well, me and the missus and Layla, we have a connection which is Harry Potter. Right? So we're all Harry Potter geeks. You get the Harry Potter game out, and I've got no chance because Layla kicks my ass. Tara is just a phenomenal.
What are you talking about? Trivial Pursuit?
Yeah, Trivial Pursuit questions. You ask Tara how old Dumbledore is, and you go, he's 150. She'll go, no, because in the book he's actually 100. Do you know what I mean? She's one of them. She is phenomenal. Aside from that, I love Lord of the Rings. But then she was like, oh, this new series has started called Stranger Things, and I watched the first episode and I was like, this is a bit crap. Then I watched the second episode with them. Then the third, and I was like, actually, this is pretty good. And this is as they were coming out, so this is before it exploded this year. So it's a couple of years ago. And then obviously we've watched them all now. And when the last season come out, we literally like, ooh, right, well, I'm not at work Saturday. Let's watch it all. Yeah, we'll watch them all. So that's what we did. And we got well into it, really, really well into it. And it was just like, I love this Stranger Things. It's just like mind blowing. I love it to bits.
So the enclosure,
right?
We got that was a Bristol show, and Steve won it, hadn't he?
So Steve Thornton, Tarantula-tastic enclosures. He built it.
Yeah.
And he because we're friends, I was getting like the odd message going, what do you think? I'm like, mate, that is just incredible.
It is an amazing.
And then the same picture a day or two later would go up on the internet, and I was like, mate, that is just something else. And he built it all, and he was like, I'm going to raffle it off the autistic stuff and all the rest of it, which is obviously, I've got a child with autism, so that's close to my heart anyway. So I was like, oh yeah. And then the Scotts Inverts Army group chat, we were on WhatsApp. It all started in there, didn't it? And I was like, oh, I really want it. There's not many things in life where I've got.
The thing I think, if you're not, I'll put a link to the certainly to the chat, because that's a good thing to be part of. But I'll also put a link into obviously Steve's chat, because there's a whole thing about how this was built and how Scott reacted to this enclosure and wanted it. And there was this story. So yeah.
So I wanted it quite badly. I had to go on the raffle, didn't get it. Steve W got it, right, and I was like, oh, wicked. But Steve W was winding me up saying he's going to put curly hair in it and all sorts, boreal closure. I was like, yeah, wicked. I'm glad Steve's got it, you know. Yeah, I thought, wicked. Anyway, comes round to the Bristol show.
Because you took it down, didn't you?
Oh, mate. Steve's mate, who was supposed to take it down to the Bristol show, couldn't. And he turned around and he said, oh, I've got babysitting duties. So I was like, oh, sugar. I was like, well, you're only an hour from me. So I kind of went in the work van, picked it up, brought it to mine, and then Chris come down to mine and we took it down to the Bristol show. But everybody that was in contact with me knew about Steve going to give me at this Bristol show, apart from me. So I've gone to see Steve. He's managed to keep a straight face, and we're talking about it and all the rest of it. And he just finds it hilarious. I'm the one that said, yeah.
You were asked to present it, weren't you?
Yeah, because I found that weird.
Yeah.
Because I was at the Bristol show. It's been on the Spider Provider stand all day. Everybody's been looking at it. And then I'm doing a bit of filming. And then everybody was taking the mickey because it took me about 5 minutes to come over to do it. And I was thinking, why do you want me to present it? You know what I mean? Why don't you get asked to leave from the spider shop or run from the creatures from the north? And I was like, okay. So I presented it to him, and he just said, actually, Scott, it's a gift for you. And if you know me from the lives, you know I can talk for England, right? But in that instance, I was like, holy shit!
You could see the emotion on your face.
I told him to fuck off.
Yeah.
Because I was just that taken back. He still finds that hilarious today. Yeah. Not in a nasty way. It was just like, fuck off.
Yeah.
And do you know?
I think because that video is that on. I don't know whose channel. It's on Steve Thorne's channel.
Yeah.
But your reaction is just.
I was just blown back.
Amazing. So we'll start to wrap up now because I've kept you long enough. And what you haven't realised is that actually Scott and I have been chatting for probably about 2 hours prior to this, and we just came and he sweet talked one of the waiters, and we sat in a little secluded area. But I just want to wrap it up, mate, and just say to you, sort of from my perspective, that you have created an addiction in me because prior to you, I'd never purchased a mystery box. And now I have to, I'm a bit of a mystery box addict, and it's a problem. So thanks for that.
But the best thing about a mystery box, though, right? You get a mystery box, you don't know what's in it, you get these slings and all the rest of it. The only criticism everybody else has got is, you'll get double ups. Do you know what double ups are good for? You've always got that one mate that comes in going, oh, they're nice. Oh, that's nice. I might get one. Well, actually, I've got this curly hair. There you go.
Yeah. I think for me, I love the mystery boxes. And I bought them from everybody. I think. Who have I? I don't think I've had a mystery box. Do you know what? I've never had a mystery box from the Spider shop, but as in one delivered. I bought them at shows, but I've never had one delivered. So there you go. That might be a
Spider shop mystery boxes don't just contain spiders; they can contain any inverts. So it is literally like.
I think the one I got at the BTS it had a scorpion, it had a mantis, and it had various different tarantulas in it. But yeah, but it's for me. I love the mystery box, and your thing for me was because I'd never bought spiders through the post either.
Yeah.
And it was just like that. You'd given me that. Oh, okay. I'll trust the system. Off the back of that.
Of course. Yeah.
And then that was it. Then once the first one arrived, I think it was a regular.
Good thing with the Spider shop is if anything arrives dead on arrival, or if Royal Mail, do a cock up and you don't get it, they will sort you out. And they will just, they will help you instantly. Same with creatures from the north. Same with spar spiders. In fact, spar spiders. They don't do mystery boxes. They don't do mystery boxes, kind of.
All right. Got that, Luke? You don't do mystery boxes.
I hope his dad's not watching. But they do them at BTS, and if they've got them on a BTS and you want one, grab them quick time. £30 mystery box got Apophysis, and that was just for starters.
I had a 60. I had a Mori, Apophysis. I had a. Disculus Blue.
Such an underrated
Hattie. What else did I have in there? can't remember, but I just remember looking at it thinking, oh my god, it was just like the pounds as in pound signs of what I had in that box was just immense. So definitely give Spar and all the others a go if you've never bought any through the post. But yeah, that's it, Scott. I just want to say thanks, mate. It's been great, and I'm glad we've had a catch up. And it will be Bedford next.
Bedford show. There's Brighton and Coventry.
Coventry, yeah.
Coventry show. If you contact me via any of the social platforms, the night before, Coventry's a hometown, so we're kind of going to do a meet up, see whoever turns up. Go get McDonald's or something,
yeah, and
just have a chat away from the invert show.
Yeah.
Because for me, at the invert show, it's like it's inverts, and it's like I want to see that, or Whereas if it's away, you've got much more time for everybody, and we can have a bit of a laugh as well.
Yeah.
And just
it is
a right chilled out one.
So I've only ever met you at the shows before, and then this is a more personal level, and like I say, I just shoved a camera in his face, and here we are now. So, but yeah, I just want to say thanks, mate, and I'll put Scott's links to everything, including the chat, including all the other bits in here, and then hopefully, you would baffle me if you were here and not subscribe to him. And if you're not, give him a look up. Guy's a legend. Thanks, mate.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I'll see you again on the next one.